Hey babe, what are we going to talk about on today's video?
Well, there's several options, but I think what we really should talk about today is the home inspection process.
That's a big topic.
It is a big topic.
Mandatory topic.
It is a big topic, and a lot of people trip over it.
Yes, they do. And some people even waive the inspection, babe.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Waiving the inspection should never happen. We've done well over 100 transactions, guys. I think we've had one buyer waive the inspection, and that was a family to family
They do the house.
They do that
inside now.
Don't waive the inspection. In Texas, that's a big no-no. In other states, you do have to waive the inspection to get the house, but not here.
Yeah. So today we're going to go over some processes, what the inspection is, what they do, and some of the findings that are common here in San Antonio, and discuss all of that and how you as a buyer or a seller need to handle the results of an inspection. We're going to start on that topic right now. If this is your first time in our channel, welcome. Please remember to subscribe and tap the bell, and you'll be the first to receive notifications of the changing market in and around San Antonio.
We're Brian and Brenda Jones, the proud owners of Lone Star Home Realty, and we get calls from people just wanting to know what's happening down here in San Antonio all the time. So whether you're moving in 3 days or 3 months or 9 years, it doesn't matter to us. Just give us a call. We're more than happy to help you any way we can.
All of our information is in the box below. You can call us, email us, text us. You can even sign up for a Zoom.
Please.
Whatever's easiest for you, we are here to help you and help you make a smooth move to the San Antonio area.
So let's dive into the home inspections and see what we find.
So start out and tell me what exactly is a home inspection.
So home inspectors in Texas are licensed by the Texas Real Estate Commission, and they are looking for specific items in the home. What works?
Top 5? Are there like 5 major?
There are top 5 major things, and they look at other things as well. But the top 5 are electrical, plumbing, HVAC, which is your air conditioning and heating system. Yes. And then you got the foundation and the roof. Those are the top 5. So if there's a problem with foundation, problem with any of the big 5,
other things.
The big 5 is where the biggest friction comes between buyers and sellers when it comes to a home inspection.
But they're gonna expose any current issues, any potential future issues.
Yep.
They're gonna make sure to tell you that the house is up to code or what needs to be done to get the house up to code. Those are all things that are going to be written up in an inspection. We call it a colonoscopy of the house.
Yep.
Because they are looking at anything and everything that a potential buyer needs to know about this house.
To give you an example, they will run the microwave just to make sure it heats up the way it's supposed to. They will put a thermometer in the oven. And they'll set it to 350 degrees.
350 or
360.
325.
If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they will look for dripping faucets. They will look. It really is a colonoscopy of the home.
Yeah. So why is it important to have it done? I mean, we know we've discussed that, kind of what they're looking for.
Because if you don't get it done and you buy the house, you're stuck with it. What you don't know. The inspection really is about due diligence and doing your own due diligence to figure out what's going on with the house. Even on a brand new home, people.
There's a lot of issues.
There's a lot of issues on a brand new home.
Yeah.
Trust me, we have blue tape.
Crazy.
We have blue tape lots of brand new builds, and there's blue tape all over the place when we're done.
But getting into either the new builds or a pre-existing one, the inspection is going to find the hidden things. When we're blue taping, those are things that are visible to Brian and I and the builder or whatever's eye. The inspection is going to go beyond that, behind the walls, checking the foundation, all the electrical, the stuff that you can't see, and it's going to reveal any of the hidden problems that are in the home that you need to know.
Right. Things that you normally wouldn't know about or find out about until it's already too late.
Now, the inspection also gives the buyer negotiation power. If the inspection reveals issues, which they always show up something, that's their job.
That's what they're paid for. Give you a list of things that have to be
and some of them may
addressed.
Be small and some of them may be large, depending on the house. So if there are things on there, it definitely gives the buyer some opportunities to negotiate with the seller when they're going through the final negotiation process.
So it also helps with future planning because the home inspector will also give you tips how to maintain the home, whether it's the HVAC system, to
redo drainage,
or to help water the foundation so that you don't have foundation issues down the road. All kinds of different maintenance tips of your home. It's typically included in an inspection report.
So what about the safety concerns? I know they do the whole electrical and
if
water.
If there are any safety concerns, are going to be called out big time by the inspector. If there's a gas leak in the home, if they smell gas, they're leaving.
Yeah, that's bad.
And they're probably going to call 911 possibly, depending on the situation.
We've never had that happen.
No, but there could be electrical hazards where the wires are crossed,
or even they check the panel in the garage to make sure all of the sockets, what are those called? Circuits. The circuits are up to date and coded, and they're all labeled, and so they're checking all the different kinds of things in the home to make sure it is safe. And it gives you peace of mind because you know exactly what you're facing when you're purchasing that home, and hopefully they're going to find the big things. I mean, they're not going to catch every single thing, and when you buy the house, you're going to be like, well, why didn't they see this? But
so to tell you the truth, guys, you could have 5 inspectors inspect one house, and you're going to get 15 different reports because they're all looking out for different things.
Yeah.
And some may say the roof needs to be totally replaced, and some may say it needs to be repaired. And some may be somewhere in between. However, that's why you have realtors. That's why you have us. So we can help you through that process.
Right, absolutely. Because we can go through the whole list with you and determine or help you determine what is of concern and what is something that doesn't really cause any issues. So what are the common things that are found in the San Antonio inspection?
Well, since San Antonio has expansive clay soils, we do have a lot of foundation issues in certain areas of town.
And we did a video on nothing but taking care of your foundation. So if that's an issue or concern, check that out.
Absolutely, it'll help you.
Yeah.
Also, we're prone to have hailstorms, so we could have roof damage. Also have the severe heat and wind. And occasionally we have between the severe heat and the freezing temperatures we occasionally get, that can do a number on a roof. So we got to check out the roof problems. HVAC systems, again, guys, lots of moving parts in these HVAC systems, the heating and air conditioning systems.
Heating and AC, so everything.
It's very important to keep these things running properly, keep them tuned up, have them checked in the summer or the spring and the fall so that you're ready for the winter and the summer. Next is plumbing problems. If you have plumbing problems, you got big problems. So if your toilet's not flushing, or you're turning on the faucet and nothing comes out, or you got...
And they turn on all the water and all the different spigots and let it all run full force to make sure the drainage is all there, even with that much water going through. So they're definitely doing a thorough job of checking the plumbing system.
Electrical systems, it's amazing. Sometimes the inspectors call out the GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupter.
Very good, babe. That was like snap.
The newer one is the AFCI, and that one, it doesn't take much at all to trip that. So they're very easily tripped. If you reset them, and you're gonna have to reset them again because they trip very easy. The GFCIs are bad enough. AFCIs are worse. But they're also looking for outdated wiring, insufficient outlets, safety hazards like exposed wires. Could be a bad thing, especially if it's behind a plate that you're not looking at. Next thing is pest infestations. So one of the big things in San Antonio is termites. Termites run amok in the San Antonio area. So if you're seeing a house and the current homeowner has firewood stacked up against the foundation or if they're stacked up against the side of the house, it's not a good idea, guys.
And they typically won't. I mean, if you're getting a VA loan, you have to have a termite inspection, which is totally separate. But a typical inspector will notice and call out any signs of an infestation, and then if that's the case, then we can request a second inspection specifically for the termites or the pest. But they will point out any kind of signs that showing there is a problem with pests.
And if you're doing a VA loan, you're going to get a pest inspection or what would they call wood destroying insects, because there's a lot of different insects that destroy wood.
Yes.
Not just termites. Okay, last but not least is mold and water damage.
We don't say that word in real estate.
We can't say mold, but
anything that's growing and shouldn't be there.
Humidity can lead to mold growth and water damage. And so they're going to look for, the inspector's going to look for signs of moisture in attics and crawl spaces to make sure that there's no mold.
Or even not even that, but they're going to look for any kind of a sign that there's been a water drip, or has that drip been repaired, that there's no warping of the boards or anything like that. So they're all going to check for that.
So how to prepare for home inspection. We're going to do this for both buyers and sellers. So
it's different.
We've got a lot of information here, guys. So hang tight. So the best way for a buyer to prepare for home inspection is
attend the inspection.
But before that, make sure you find the right one.
Yes.
And there are several. We can provide you with a list of many home inspectors. Some we've tried and worked out with, and some we don't recommend anymore. However, we can point you in the right direction with that.
Now, the inspections are normally scheduled for 3 hours.
About 3 hours, usually about 3 hours.
And we normally will tell our buyers to just show up in the last hour. That gives
30 to 45 minutes.
That gives the inspector plenty of time on his own to inspect the home, concentrate on his job, and get that all taken done before you get there. It's definitely important that the buyer does show up to the inspection, because that is your time to speak one-on-one with the inspector, go over the report. He's going to tell you what he found, and he will actually take you to that location and say, this is what I'm talking about, so that you know and you visually have seen the problem that he's calling out.
Most home inspectors, in fact, I don't know if I've run across any of them that don't, are writing their report as they go.
Yeah.
So they're taking their pictures, they're making their notes on their findings as they're going through the house. Be open to the findings. Remember that no home is perfect, not even brand new ones, guys. So
I'm telling you, when you go to an inspection, don't be surprised. You're going to have a list. It's going to be from tiny little things to bigger things. So don't panic.
And for sellers, this is going to sound a little strange, but we've done this several times with listings, and we actually recommend it.
Yeah.
We recommend that sellers get a pre-inspection before listing your home. Why would we do that?
Why?
Because we want to
know.
We want to shorten the list.
Yeah, you want to shorten the list, and you want to know, especially if you know or you have a concern, you want to know, okay, what is the inspector going to call out, and give me an opportunity to fix the bigger things or the things that are most important, so that there's not causing any questions on the buyer's end. So that really does help you take a look at it and make sure that the inspector, when he's here, has access to your whole house. If there's any locks on gates or garages or in the attic for whatever reason, if you have a lock on it, just make sure that and a lot of times we tell sellers that when you're packing up your house, the garage, you can put stuff in the garage, not a big deal. You just have to make sure there's a pathway to walk around the whole edge of the garage, as well as enter the attic space, so that he has access to it to walk around it.
Right.
So that's a good point.
So after the home inspection,
what happens after we get the report?
So for
going
back to buyers, you want to review the inspection report. You're going to get it. Your realtor is going to get it. Hopefully we're going to get it because we're representing you.
Yes.
So take the time to carefully read through the inspection report. Guys, on these inspection reports, remember they're licensed by the state. So the first 3 or 4 pages it's really, really dry and boring. It tells you everything that you need to know about why they're doing this, how they're doing this, and everything else. So just skip through that and get to the meat of the report. Discuss the findings.
But typically, though, an inspector is going to code it in like red, green, and yellow, right?
Yeah.
Red being the ones that are the most important. This is what you need to focus on. So those are normally at the top, and then they have the rest of the information below it. So
right.
They'll highlight what's most important. Discuss their findings with your agent, hopefully us. Like he said, the agent should get a copy of the report, go through that with your agent, discuss the things that you're concerned about, because it may be something that you think is important and the agent's like, that's not really a big deal. That's a little thing they had to note because it was on a code issue.
So guys, think about this. We, as realtors, see these reports all the time. I mean,
all the time.
Weekly, if not daily, we see inspection reports. We talk with inspectors. We know what to look for. We know what to ask for. And so you're only seeing it one time. You may see it 2 times or 3 times in your lifetime.
Right.
We've already seen hundreds of these things. So it's important to keep that in mind when you're talking with your agent or with us. We're going to give you the skinny. We're going to tell you what's really important and what's really not that big a deal.
Because again, a lot of the things they have to call out is simply because this didn't match the code. Well, when this house was built in 1999, it wasn't the code, but it is now. So they have to call that out. That's not something that needs to be repaired or changed or updated, but they have to call it out. So that's something small that's on a report that's not really a concern.
Right.
So what do you do with it once you have your inspection report and you've gone over it?
Well, we go through it with you, and if there's, again, if any of the big 5 are an issue, then and it's a big enough issue that we need to discuss with the sellers, then that's what we will do. We will talk with the listing agent, probably provide an amendment to the contract to list the things that we want addressed. If the HVAC's not working, you went in the house and it was just not working at the time of the inspection, that's something we're definitely going to want to get fixed. If there is a drip in the kitchen sink, want to get that addressed. So that's what we would do. If the seller agrees and says, you know what, yeah, those are things that do need to be addressed, but we don't want to do it, so they may offer you funds in lieu of repairs, which is totally acceptable. Because if I was the buyer and there were some big issues in the house, I'm not going to want the seller to repair those things, because the seller is going to get the cheapest way. They want the cheapest way out of it. I want it done right because I'm going to be living in this house. So it's important to realize that.
So you can get estimates if you're going back. You're still in the negotiation process. We can get different roofers out there, or plumbers, or whatever we need. Different skills or skill sets that need to come out there, and they'll give you estimates on what is it going to take to fix this. And a lot of times, even if it's something you're not going to ask for them to repair, you can get an estimate just so that you know, like, I want to get the floors done, or it's going to give you an idea while you still are in the negotiation period of the contract of what you're going to be doing at the closing.
Most of the time, the inspector is going to call out the items in the report. Like if there's an issue with the roof, they're going to tell you a further investigation is warranted. So that's when you get a roofer out there to check it out. Biggest thing that we need to do with buyers is you got to make an informed decision, and that's why you have the inspection report. You weigh all the information, and you decide whether you're going to move forward with the purchase.
Yeah.
In Texas, we have what we call the option period. We talked about that in a previous video as well. That's when you do your due diligence. And so that gives you an opportunity to walk away if the issues are too significant.
And there are buyers that do. They walk away because it's just like, it's too much. This is much worse than I was expecting. Or you can negotiate that. So it depends on kind of what the inspection report is showing.
So
sellers handle it
on the seller side. So
the sellers get a copy of the inspection report?
They actually don't.
And you don't want it as a seller. Don't ask for it.
However, there are times that an agent will email the listing agent the full inspection report.
Not good.
We don't like it when that happens. And we don't do that personally.
We don't.
because once that's done, that means the seller has to disclose everything that's on that report.
They now have knowledge of the whole report.
Yep. So let's not do that. So the next steps for sellers, number one, kind of similar to the buyers, understand the findings. You're not going to get the repair, you're not going to get the inspection report, but you are going to get a repair request.
Yeah,
And
so typically they'll cut out part that they're addressing. They'll cut the verbiage out of the inspection, so you get that one section.
Yeah, you get the one page or whatever.
So really communicate with your listing agent, because again, they're going to be there. They are your advisor. They are the one that's supposed to be giving you direction as far as, okay, how do we handle this? Let's discuss this. How do you want to handle it? Do you want to consider making the repairs on it? If it's something that you're like, man, I can get a handyman out here for a day and he'll knock out all of these, it's not a big deal. Great, wonderful.
Be transparent. If the repairs aren't feasible, be straightforward and honest with potential buyers. Actually, they're not the potential buyers, they're under contract.
Yeah, they're under contract.
So transparency builds a lot of trust, prevent issues later in the process. But let's knock those out.
So again, depending on the things that they're asking for, if they're reasonable, you can either repair it yourself, you can offer money instead of having it repaired, just say, hey, I'll offer you X amount, or you can even lower the asking price. So there's a lot of different strategies that are available to the seller and the agent to go ahead and bridge that gap once we have that inspection done.
Guys, I know we have packed a lot of information in this short video.
A lot of really important information.
A lot of important information. It's actually not all of the information. So
that's why you need a realtor.
That's why you need us. And so if you found this information helpful, comment below. Let us know what you think. And
if you've run into any big time issues with an inspection that ended up biting you in the butt,
let us know.
Let us know. Give us your horror stories.
So comment below, like we said, and subscribe, tap the bell. We're a growing channel, so we really would appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next one.
Have a great day.
See ya.